Hello, welcome to Live Reality Games. My name is Steven. I'm back today with more Survivor BC post-game coverage of the most recent season, the Golden Age. And here I am today with the 7th-place finisher, a 3-time Survivor BC veteran, Jenny. Jenny, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing really good. So happy to be here. Good to see you again, Steven.
It's wonderful having you too. And this time, one-on-one, we had a chance to speak last year with Keenan in the mix, but this time I get you all to myself, so I have a lot of questions I'm excited to ask.
Awesome, I'm ready.
So I want to get your take. So when you were applying for Survivor BC again, did you have any idea what to expect? Because you're a returning player. Were you thinking like it's going to be some like mix, all returnees, 50-50?
I don't know what I was expecting. I knew there was going to be a lot of new people, but I wasn't expecting the returnees. Like I didn't expect Taylor to be there or Austin or even Stevie. I think it kind of made sense that Kevin was there because I think he was first boot or something. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I loved the variety of, the personalities and stuff. And there were a lot of like relationships that like, people already knew some people and I had no idea. So, yeah.
So when you played last season, you were the only female player. And so coming into this season, you were not the only female player, right? You were it wasn't a 50-50 cast, but there were several female players. How did that change your outlook and how you played the game?
Oh, I was so happy. I was so excited. Like, all I want to do is play with a girl because, like, I don't know, we already have, like, that female bond. So I was really happy that I wasn't the only girl because it really does change your game. It really does make it a little harder. And I had, like, the best girls around, like, especially having 2 girls, like, beyond the team, like, my starting team, Jessica and Joanna. I was, like, so happy. Yeah.
So, given that it had been a year since your last season, how did you want to change your game, or what were you thinking coming into this season?
I just wanted to play way more strategically. Like last time, like I was really trying to keep a low profile and just kind of go with the flow and be chill, just because I had a huge target on my back. But so this time around, I really wanted to like play with really, strategic people, really like high quality people. And I wanted to cause some chaos and maybe trick some people. I'm not sure if I was able to do that, but that was kind of what I wanted to go into. And yeah, just play way more strategic because like last time I wasn't really happy with my game. And this time I was quite pleased with my game, but I know I can do way better. So.
So you get to the game. You spend some time blindfolded, and the blindfold comes off, and you see the cast around you. What is your reaction?
I was just looking around, and the first thing I noticed was, I guess, the returnees. I noticed Stevie was there, and I was really, really excited. I had no idea that he was going to be there. So I really tried to kind of compose myself and not give it away, but I don't know how much that worked out. And then just seeing the new faces, I was just really excited and obviously nervous just because, the game has begun. So you're going to have to, do what you can.
I want to talk a little bit more about the returning players here. There are 4 players, including yourself, from the most recent season, season 7. It's you, Andrew, Kevin, and Stevie. What were your relationship with those others like? You already said you were very excited to see Stevie.
Yeah, I had a good relationship with Andrew. We went quite far because like we won in season 7, we won a lot of the challenges. So for us, we were just like chilling and, just hanging out. So I have a good relationship with him and Kevin, right? Didn't get to play with Kevin at all. So I was kind of hoping to be able to like, work with Kevin. Kevin seemed really cool. But again, we were, split up. So I never got an opportunity. And yeah, even, I'm sure we'll get to it, but the swap happened and then he didn't want to work.
You almost want to try with Kevin. There's a brief moment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about 2 more players. We also have Taylor St. Louis, who played in seasons 5 and 6, and then Austin, who's played in seasons 4 and 5. And so, had you met them? Did you know them? Any thoughts about them?
Yeah, so we were able to hang out after season 7 was done. And so I got to know them a little bit with that. And they seem really cool. And like just from what I've heard, like I hear like Taylor St. Louis is like she's like a really high quality player. She's really scary and people always want to get her out and things like that. And I hear tons of things about Austin, how he's very chaotic and you just never know what he's gonna do. And yeah, I experienced both of those firsthand. And it's what everyone says about them. It's like true. Yeah.
So you have your initial tribe divisions, and you are in the blue tribe, the Simiamu tribe. And each tribe is going to have 3 returning players and 5 new players. You, Austin, and Stevie are the returning players. And of new players, you have Joanna, Jessica, David, Brandon, and Braden now. Thoughts on this tribe configuration?
Oh, I loved it. It was fantastic, especially with having Jessica and Joanna. Like Joanna right away was like, Girls Alliance, Girls Alliance. So I was like, yes, yes, absolutely. And then I think at first Jessica and I didn't talk to each other too much. Maybe because I think she was like intimidated that I was really close with the returnees and whatnot. And she was kind of doing her own thing. Right away, Stevie and I obviously were like, we're taking each other to the end for sure. And Austin, we were like final two, because, you know, nobody wants to take him and it just feels like no one wants to take me. So, you know, I kind of talked to him and I feel like maybe I got to him in a positive way. Like, yeah, like we need to take each other because no one's going to want to, you know, take one of us. And then everybody else, just, yeah, good vibes. We were getting to know each other and like Brandon was talking about his work and what he has to do. And it's like a lot of like dealing with people. And then, so he was saying he's like really good at like getting to know people like right off the bat and, you know, first impressions and things like that. So I just had a feeling, I just knew that he was going to be like a really good player and I wasn't sure if he was going to work with me. That's why I wanted him out at the very first because I kind of saw him as a threat. But yeah, that was kind of messy, but that was fun.
So once you get in your tribe divisions, you have a Caveman Brawl where you're doing tug of war essentially, but with your luggage. Talk to me how this challenge was for you.
It was really crazy. It was really difficult. Like we lost like almost all our bags just because the other tribe was like, I don't know, bigger, stronger. So the first round was like 2 against 2 is Jessica and me, and then I guess Braden and CJ, I think. And we lost that one, and Jessica has like a huge, you know, like, I don't know, hit in the face. She's bleeding. I think I have a cut. I got a cut here and I still have like the mark from it. And yeah, it was just really difficult. And I remember when I did a one-on-one with CJ, I think I did a pretty good job with like, you know, keeping him at bay. I think I had a few good tackles in there. I was really mad at CJ because I like didn't know him and he was like taking my bag and like ripping it and stuff. So I was like really upset. There were moments where I was like, wait, can I just like, okay, let's go again. So knowing I could do that was funny. Yeah, I got like really angry and like really heated that round. But yeah, overall we lost most of the bags and we had to have a really cold night. But I think that just brought us closer as a tribe.
How was that night for you? Because is this your first night in Star BC ever with no sleeping bag?
Yes. So it was really tough. So like it was pretty smart. Austin and Brandon, I think, they took, so you know the mats that we like stand on? So they took those our mat, the blue mat, and I guess they're blankets, very thin blankets. They took that and the other teams, and we kind of went off with them. And so if we didn't have those, I don't know how we would have survived. Like, it was really cold. I think it was like 2 a.m. or something at like one time in the night. Just all of a sudden the temperature drops and we all feel it at the same time. We're just like, did you feel that? And everyone's like, oh my God. It was so funny. But yeah, it was, I like those kinds of struggles because it just, I don't know, you're like challenging your body as well as, bonding. So I'm fine with that.
Well, speaking of bonding, you've already kind of talked about that you immediately with Steve, you're like final two, you're making a deal with Austin. You and Joanna have let's do a women's alliance. You're a little wary of Brandon. Where does David and Braden L fit into all this?
Braden,
at the very start.
Braden, I could tell that he was, I don't know, he was like doing a lot of stuff around camp. And I feel like the way he talks and that he's a lawyer and stuff, like he could be like a strategic player, but he was very like, I don't know, like he just seemed kind of nervous to me, but I didn't have any quarrels with him. Like he was like making the camp really nice. And so I was like, nice. Yeah. Like you can just take you a little far and then you can just like, I'll vote you out later. I don't have any problems with that. And then with David was so funny. Like everyone loved his humor. He's a really funny guy, very quirky or whatever. And I think I was down to like have an alliance with him as well. But we didn't really talk about that. He didn't really talk strategy to me anyway. It didn't seem like he was like, in the game, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I definitely feel like as a returning player, you kind of know that time is precious, and you kind of have to, and you don't want to come on super hard, but you definitely want to take advantage of that early game portion to like kind of thinking like, hey, what if we worked together, did something like that? And definitely, I think as a new player, you don't realize you need to be doing those things till you lose that first challenge, and you're like, okay, let's time to scramble, and you don't see that other people have maybe put work in before you.
Exactly. And I saw that in David, like he was just chilling. So I was like, okay, I can talk to him later.
So you survived the Great Freeze that first night. And the next day you learn about the twist of the season where there's the Island of Ages. And your tribe has to send one person. And Stevie ends up going.
Yeah, so I remember a lot of people put their hands up for that. Almost everybody. But I was kind of pushing for Stevie, but I was trying to be subtle about it. I'm not sure if I was, but I think in the end, I was just kind of like, yeah, like, I just feel like Stevie's, what if it's a competition? We're all thinking, yeah, probably it's going to be some sort of competition maybe there against the other team. So we were like, the best bet to win would be Stevie because he's done it before and he's pretty good at challenges. So I'm glad it was Stevie that went because he won sleeping bags for us.
What did he tell everyone about his trip there?
I don't really remember much, but like he just said like they had to do a challenge. I forget what the challenge was. Was it balancing something? Oh,
I forget what the challenge was too. I know it was a challenge.
I think it was like balancing something, and then you're balancing like maybe a marble on a thing. I don't know. I actually forget. But he won, and he could have chosen either like a clue to the hidden immunity idol or sleeping bags, and he chose sleeping bags. Yeah. So.
Which I don't think anyone had any problem with this at this point.
Yeah, exactly. But I honestly feel like if it was Braden or maybe Austin, I feel like maybe if Braden went, he might have chosen the idol.
So you then move on to your first reward challenge of the day. And this is the Survivor Mixer, which is you have a little box with stuff in it. You're kind of playing like a variant of Go Fish. This doesn't end up very well for your tribe.
No, it doesn't. That was an interesting one, and we actually had like a mix-up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody was confused, and so that point went to the other team. But it was fine. I think losing that was fine
Mm-hmm.
because that's kind of what sparked um, the chaos that happened on our tribe.
What do you mean?
Well, it was an immunity challenge.
Well, that was a reward challenge.
Reward. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's.
no, it didn't really matter to us very much.
Did your tribe feel like underdogs at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Like kind of through the whole thing, we felt like
Mhm.
underdogs.
Because you get to the second reward challenge, and that's the precious stones challenge, where I think there's marbles you have to like do a bunch of stuff with, and your tribe does win that challenge.
Yeah. So we were pretty happy about that, but like we start seeing people like go off with each other, and like just the game starts picking
Mhm.
up, like just all of a sudden, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I don't know, we just had this underdog vibe to us more than the other tribe, I think, because they were kind of like I think David, he would always kind of like make comments and kind of like egg on the other team, and the other team would like, I think they were like a little meaner than us.
Mhm.
So like that's why we have like the underdog vibe.
So before the next mini challenge, there's another Island of Ages visit, and this time the other tribe selects who gets to go.
Hmm.
And so from your tribe, Joanna gets selected. And what happens when she comes back?
She just told us like it was kind of confusing how she explained it, but yeah, it was like the auction thing. So
Mhm.
like you're auctioning off a bunch of dis like disadvantages
Mhm.
in order to get an advantage.
Mhm.
And so she said she didn't get any of them, and so she didn't win the prize. And we're like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, I chose not to win that one, or
Mhm.
else our team would have had a lot of disadvantages. But I think it would have just been for her. I
Mhm. Yeah, only disadvantages for her.
Yeah, exactly. So I think she said that the disadvantage would be for the team. So we're
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, thanks.
Did you believe her?
I think we all believed her pretty
Mhm.
much. I think, obviously there's like skepticism, especially because the way she explained it was kind of confusing.
Mhm.
But for me personally, I was like, okay, I believe you.
And did she tell you what the advantage was that now Will had?
I don't think so.
Okay, so at this point, you're not aware of that Will can mutiny.
Yeah.
Okay. And so from going there, you go to the immunity challenge. And you learn that Will took a disadvantage that lets you put him on a certain part of the challenge. So how
Hmm.
was this challenge for you? Because I believe you were on the puzzle at the very end, right?
Yeah, that was the tree puzzle.
Yeah, that was the really hard tree puzzle.
It was really hard. And like, I don't know who else. Oh my gosh. Okay, the thing is, Jessica, turns out she's really good at puzzles, and she was like trying to lay low,
Mhm.
and she would not do like, any puzzles. So it was me and Brayden on the puzzle, and it was freaking hard. But we got to like chat with CJ and Jamie a little bit.
Mhm.
While, I guess we were on the Domino's part for a very long time. David was.
Mhm.
So it gave us a lot of time to chat, and we're like, hey, like, how's it going over there? Like, any drama or anything? And they're like, no, we're just like, having the best time ever. And there's like an owl that keeps us awake at night. And they wouldn't give us anything. So we kind of like got a feeling that like they're really tight over there.
Mhm.
And obviously like Jamie and CJ were like really close, and we were just trying to like figure out like,
Mhm.
where the alliances are.
Mhm. So ultimately, this doesn't end very well for you this challenge.
Mhm.
And you learn that your tribe will be going to the tribal council that night.
Mhm.
And so I imagine this is when Pandora's box opens and chaos emerges.
Yeah, it was really crazy. People were going off with each other. I know I was really kind of telling people to vote Brandon because in my mind it just made sense. Like,
Mhm.
but I didn't realize that like Jessica was, having a relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if it had gone the way I wanted, like I feel like it could have just been so easy, but it's never easy. So obviously there was like a bigger plan. But I knew like Joanna and Stevie for sure we had each other's backs. Jessica, like I thought, but like apparently like, yeah, she didn't want Brandon out.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like, things were happening, and then at one point Brandon, he confronts Stevie and I. We go off, and like Steve and I are like looking at each other. We were so nervous, and like how like you get confronted and like there's just so many emotions and you're just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my god, oh my god. Basically that's he was just asking like, why, Jenny, why is it me, just tell me. And I was like, well, like I feel like you're like really like, you kind of seem like a threat to me, and you seem like a really like good player, really good like talker as well,
Mm-hmm.
and like all these things, and like I know these people, I don't really know you. And he was like, Jenny, like please, like if you keep me around, like I swear like we can like work together. And I was like, hey, but like after this, like you're gonna be after me, like what's stopping you from like going after me? And he's like, I won't, I swear, like if you keep me around and blah blah. And so I looked at Stevie and I was really considering it. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, we're gonna have to like change
Mm-hmm.
the name. And I think like he saw that and he was like genuinely very touched, because like I really considered like changing the vote.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, in the end, it was Stevie, and I felt super, super blindsided. Joanna felt blindsided as well, but she was like, "Hey, you know what? As long as the girls don't go out, she's good." But I was very upset. I needed a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I cried. I sat alone, and like I felt super alone and like kind of scared and worried, and I was like, fudge. But yeah, it all works out how it's supposed to.
Where was Austin in all of this? You said like I was kind of counting on Jess for this vote, but was Austin not someone that you were counting on as well?
I thought so too. But I guess that was like my first like experience of like seeing Austin like kind of just like do his own thing. And even though he says like, I've got you, Jenny, like we're together on this, like he's really playing his own game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew to like kind of like keep him at a distance, but also kind of be like, I trust you, Austin. Like just don't vote me out. Like whatever happens, just don't vote me out, but you can
Mm-hmm.
do whatever. I kind of like your chaos, so go ahead and be chaotic. We can be allies. You can be chaotic, just don't vote me out. Yeah.
How was your conversation with Jess after this tribal council?
I was very disappointed. I was like, I don't even remember like what I said. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
why, guys? Like what happened? I don't understand. Like you guys, like you kept me out of the vote. You could have just told me, like, how I feel about this. Like season 7, like that was just constantly like I was just constantly out of the votes. So I have like strong feelings about being left out.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just apologized, and I think like they're thinking like Austin and Jessica, they're just like it's easier to apologize than to ask for permission. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to forgive them, but like I definitely felt very disappointed. But yeah.
Looking back, what do you think you should have or could have done differently this round to make the votes work out in your favor?
I think it should have been somebody else, but I don't know who it could have been. It could have been, I guess, Brayden or David.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could have changed my like. I was pushing it too much. I was being too forward because I was just like excited, and but I guess yeah, people don't like being told what to do, and especially for like the first round,
Mm-hmm.
it's just too much for people. So yeah, it really backfired. And so I guess next time I'll just be more like, yeah, like let's see what you guys think, because I did go on. I came on very strong.
So so now we're on day 3, and day 3 opens up with another Island of Ages visit. This time, Austin goes from your tribe. What happens when he comes back?
I don't really remember.
This is when he comes back with an idol.
Oh yeah, he said he came back with like an idol, and then he showed us, and he was like, "This is a tribe idol. I will use this for the tribe." And we're like, "Oh, cool! Thanks, Austin."
How much,
we don't know how much we believe you, but cool. We know you have an idol.
Not really much of a question about what happened when he shows you the idol, right?
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Not much question about what happened at the island when he comes back and shows you the idol, correct?
Yeah.
And did he tell you like what happened to Brayden because he got the idol or anything like that?
I think he explained like the game and stuff, but I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah, because he does the Prisoner's Dilemma idol, the same thing that happened to Kevin and Jeff in the previous season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was just like, this is a tribe idol. And we're like, okay, Austin.
If you had to put a percentage chance that Austin would play that idol for you, what percentage chance would that be?
For me personally?
Yeah.
I would say like 60%. I would say there's a chance. Like he does, he does have some sort of I guess moral compass. Like he does. It's somewhere there, and it's kind of confusing, but it's like I think he would have if we were, because like I mean, we're gonna talk about this later, but he did play it for somebody else. Yeah.
So after this, you have your next immunity challenge. This is a combination of gross food and hot pursuits. And I believe you were one of the people who were eating the gross food.
Yeah.
How was that?
I loved it. Well, I didn't love it, but we won. And I think like how our team chooses, I think we're really good at that. We were like able to like really like, pull it out. Jessica's really good at eating nasty food. I knew I could do it, and I forget who the third person was for our team. I think it was Brayden.
I don't recall either.
Yeah. So it was so the first disgusting thing that I had to eat was like ginger, like a pile of ginger with, I don't know, like, yeah. So that was fine. The second one was fine too, is balut. And I know a lot of people are really disgusted with balut, and like, okay, like I get it, but also it's like a delicacy in a lot of Asian places. So like, don't go hating. So like,
it tastes like hard-boiled egg. It's just a little crunchier.
Exactly, just like a little more texture. Yeah. So like, I was totally fine with eating it, and I was like helping my teammates, telling them how to eat it as well. Like, like eat this part first and then leave this other part that's like way more chewier. Like save that one.
That's kind of the worst part of it.
Yeah. Or maybe the worst part is the bird, but I don't think that is. It's the rubbery part.
Yeah, because I remember when the time I ate balut, it was pitch black. I just didn't look at what I was eating. But I remember that last rubbery part. It was just so hard to swallow because I was like, I can't chew it enough.
Yeah, it's difficult, and I think Jessica ate that one first, and so like she was struggling a little bit, and it's like hard to swallow too. Like you're trying to eat it fast, and you're trying to swallow, and it's just like get stuck there. And then the last part was the hardest one, and I had to do the last one. It was like relish with like this ginger onion thing, and then in the middle is the fish paste, and the fish paste is the worst thing to eat on its own. Like I didn't even like, I was like, how did you guys find this? Like, because originally like you eat it, it's actually pretty good in very small doses. Like you eat it with like sour fruit or like sour mango, and you just dip it and you eat it like that, and it's really good. But it was like this huge little pile, and like I just remember like just going for it. I don't know how Jessica did it. Like she had the shrimp paste like by itself, and so she ate that all, and I was like so impressed. Like the smell, like when you breathe in, like you smell it, and like I was like holding my breath, and then Jamie starts like pretending to vomit, and he's like, "Hey Jenny," and I was like really trying to like, I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. And then he started making himself actually like gag. That was really funny. I was like, haha, karma.
What are your thoughts on Jamie at this point, or any other particular members of the Kawantlan tribe?
I didn't really like. They just seemed really chill. But I had some animosity towards Jamie because he was being very like mean about, you know, me eating the thing. So I was like, that's not cool. You're in my bad books right now, basically. Yeah, and then yeah, we won it.
Well, in the downtime after this challenge, did anything happen or anything notable?
So we had the coffee and the donuts. So that was really awesome because like the coffee really helped hide the shrimp smell.
You didn't want to breathe shrimp paste all day long?
Yeah, I was like showing everybody the smell, and like I think it was Brandon. He's really, really bad with like smells and eating bad stuff. So like one whiff of my breath, like he was just like, like it was, I was like, yeah. And then, oh yeah, so like I was like, okay guys, like I'm just gonna go like vomit over here by this bush. So casually. So like I casually walk, and I'm gonna like, you know, find my spot. I'm about to vomit. And then I'm like, oh look guys, like a little like piece of paper that, you know, because like you get quizzes or like little things. That's just a part of Survivor this year. And you solve these things, and then you get like BC bucks. So I was like beside where I was gonna vomit. So I was like, hey, somebody take this. And then I walked and vomited somewhere else. And yeah, everyone thought that was really funny. But yeah, we didn't really talk. I think we were just like mainly about like, let's keep morale up and like, let's win the next one. And then I guess if there was talk of strategy, it was just like confirming like who's with me and who's not.
Who'd you think was with you at this point?
So I knew for sure Jessica, Joanna for sure, and Austin. And I think David was in there too. So I think the people that were left out was Brandon and Brayden.
Now, I remember Jessica saying that over the course of this third day, the tribe kind of all was like mutually like, we should vote out Brayden. How was that happening?
I think just with like, I think it was kind of with everybody, like if you tried to talk strategy with him, like he just wasn't in that mindset yet. And so he would not give you much information, or like he just wouldn't give you very much. And you could tell that like he was very like I don't know, like nervous, or had some anxiety maybe, or some stress just about the gameplay. And you know, and then yeah, so we were all kind of just like, yeah, seems like Brayden's gonna be the one to be voted out. But then like I think eventually, like I don't know when, but I just was like talking to him, and like he started talking to me, and kind of like he like started talking strategy a little more to me, and saying that he really trusted me. And I was like, okay, cool, like another person that I can like work with. And then when he started talking to me, like it just seemed like I was like, oh, I knew it, like you're a very strategic player, but you just weren't like showing it very well. So like everyone was talking about getting him out, and they're like, if we lose, like he's out. And I was like, I don't want him to be out though. So I was trying to like figure out a way to like keep him. Yeah.
So you find out the next mini challenge is a doubleheader. Both tribes are in the tribal council, and both tribes will have one person immune, and it's a touchy subjects challenge. Anything notable? And did you win any categories?
Yeah, I won. Or like, did I win, or like, did people choose my name?
Did your name come up for most likely to succeed in life, or whatever the categories were?
Yeah, so like I got like the sleeping bag one I got, and then people chose me, and then like I also got chosen as like most likely to like be a bully in high school. And I was like, what the heck? I was genuinely like really confused. I was like, okay guys, I think they just thought their reasoning was like, Jenny just seems too nice to be real, so she must have been a bully at some point in her life. And I was fine. Yeah. Yeah, there was like some really tough ones. Like I really felt bad for Joanna, because like Joanna was picked for some bad ones, like not getting like a boyfriend or in a relationship in the future,
finding love or whatever the name is.
So there was a lot. So like I kind of purposely like put either my name down, or like just I didn't really that was kind of my strategy, because I was like, I'm not putting those names out there.
Well, so it sounds like when Braden wins this challenge for your tribe, that was not a worst case scenario for you.
No, it wasn't. I was like actually kind of happy about that. I was kind of rooting for him actually, because I could see myself working with him a lot more than I can see myself working well with David, because he was already starting to feel like he was a big target. And so he was already like stirring the pot by like, bringing things up and saying certain things that were like rubbing people the wrong way. He was saying how, this person's like talking about you and bringing your name up. So I was like down for his chaotic nature, and like I'm super down to bring chaotic people to merge, because I don't know, it just makes the game more interesting. So I was like, yay.
So immediately after the challenge, did you know who you wanted to vote off? Because you ended up voting out David. Was that your first choice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so talk me through the strategy, or how hard was it getting people together to vote off David?
I think it was kind of unanimous a little bit. I think everyone was kind of just like, yeah, like it seems like it should be David, just because like David wasn't into strategy talk. Like it really like bummed him out, or like it really like tired him out. And like with the he was just like, oh, I'm done with this, like just give me a name and I'll just write it down in his David way. And like I think for us, like we were like really wanting to play hard and things like that. And so you just don't want that kind of person to go into merge, because you want people that will be able to like do gameplay and things like that. So
you weren't looking for minions just to do your bidding in the merge.
I want to play with some like high quality players.
And so because it's weird, because it's a 4-3 vote, right? Because you have Brandon, Braden, and David all voting for Joanna, and then everyone else votes for David. Did you realize it was going to be that tight of a vote?
No, I didn't. I was like, whoa. And I think Jessica as well was like, whoa, like we obviously like can't trust these boys. So yeah, that was like eye-opening. But I think after getting David out, I think it kind of just brought us together.
So at the end of this day, who were you feeling closest with?
Probably Jessica and Joanna for sure. Yeah.
And if your tribe goes to tribal council again, go ahead.
Oh, Austin as well, but I just didn't know how far I could throw him, type of thing. I just didn't know. I was like, he's really doing his own thing. So I don't know how much I can put my trust in him, but we always had like final two type of thing. So yeah, he was always in the back pocket.
And if your tribe went to another tribal council, who would you want to vote off at that point?
Probably if like who would have won or who would have like an
Let's say
immunity.
no one's immune. No one's immune. Your tribe was the tribal council.
Probably Brayden
Okay.
or Brandon. I
Mhm.
think I would have chosen Brayden over Brandon.
Why?
Just because we had that, issue at the beginning, and I just see him kind of like getting along with the boys on the other tribe a lot more than Brayden. Brayden's like, he's not into like boys clubs and things like that too. So he was like, I want to work with the girls. And Brandon was, he never said anything like that to me. So I was like, I think I would trust Brayden more than Brandon.
Gotcha. So you vote out Brandon then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was mixing them up there for a second.
Yeah.
So that night, you instead you end up first having a battle back challenge where Stevie, CJ, and David, the three of the first four vote offs, have a chance to get back in the game. When you're looking at that, who are you rooting for? Who do you want to see come back in the game, and why is it Stevie?
Right. First of all, that was such an epic scene. Like, it was so dramatic, and I loved how dramatic it was, though. It was dark, and, like, the car lights were on, and so you could only see, like, figures, and we're all like, what is happening? We had just woken up. Like, they woke us up. We're like, oh, my gosh. And, yeah, and then we see them come in. I don't know anything about CJ. I just I hear that he's, like, a really cool guy. Yeah, and then, David was there and he had just gotten voted off by us. And so I think he was like feeling a type of way. So we're like, oh no, if he wins this, he's definitely gonna go with another alliance. And then I obviously wanted Stevie back in. I understood the worries that my alliance had with, Stevie coming back, but I really wanted him back, and he won. And so I was really, really happy. And I could tell my alliance was really, really nervous, but I knew I could like smooth it over.
So you then do a tribe swap, and you move from Semiamu to the red tribe, Kwantlen, in their second iteration. And it seems like it's going to be an even merge, right? Or even swap, because it's you, it's Brandon and Jess. And then on the other side, you have Jamie, Kevin, and Brayden S. Talk to me about this night and how it was.
Yeah, it was like we were like before all that happened, we talked about a merge coming up, and we said, hey, like no matter what happens, we need to stay blue strong, tribe strong. And I guess with Stevie coming back, it made Jessica and Brandon really nervous. So we went to the other team, and I guess it was nighttime, and we just talked about the chaos that happened at camp. And we were like kind of dishing it all out and telling them how chaotic it was. And I think one of the strategies was like to kind of just make it seem like there are a lot of cracks. So like we're willing to like work with you guys or whoever in order to keep going, to move forward. And they didn't give us anything. I think it's because they're tribe strong, but also maybe not much has happened over there because they had some easy votes. They had some super easy votes. So like they didn't have the chaoticness that we had. And so they were just telling us like funny stories, and there was like a lot of fun stuff that was happening on their tribe. And their place was cool. They made a chessboard, and I wanted to hear the owl, but the owl actually didn't come back. And I was like, you guys talked so much about this owl. I wanted to experience it too. Like, where is it?
At what point did you find out that Brandon is flipping and that you're in trouble?
Oh my gosh. It was probably before we go into, I think, the reward challenge, or it was an immunity challenge. I don't remember.
So the immunity challenge the next day when you realize like I'm in trouble.
Yeah. So like, I guess in the morning, like we were looking around for BC Bucks, and then like Brandon kept going off with the other tribe, and talking to them. And Jessica and she was telling me that Brandon is feeling really nervous. that Stevie's back and that I'm gonna like, flip on them. And I just kept telling them, like, I just kept saying like, no, like it doesn't, with Stevie coming back, it just means more numbers because like, you guys, targeted him, but he's fine. Like he's gonna vote with us. Like he's not gonna try to get you guys out. Like, because we're gonna need to work together to get all of the Red Tribe out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do remember specifically having a conversation, a one-on-one with Brandon, and he was like, "Yeah, Jenny, like, yeah, I don't know, like, just Stevie coming back. I'm just really nervous, I just don't want you to flip, and it just feels like you're, gonna choose him over us." And I was telling him, like, no, like, that's not gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it seemed like it went well. He was like, okay, cool, cool. Like, I feel so much better that we had this conversation. Thanks, Jenny. Like, I really needed to hear that. And I was like, cool, awesome. Like, I'm so glad. And then I don't know what happened, but Jessica comes over and she's like, hey, like, what's happening? Like, everything okay? Like, we need to stick together. And then he's like, yeah, like, I'm just like nervous about, Stevie and Jenny flipping. And then I was just like,
this is in front of you?
Yeah, this is in front of me. And then I was like, Brandon, I thought we just like talked about this. Like, it's going to be fine. And then I don't know, like maybe that tone kind of like put him off or something because like, I don't know. It just fell apart. Like he said something and then I was like, okay, like you're like with me. Like I thought you were with me. I thought you were like, saying everything's like fine. Like I'm telling you everything's fine. And then he was just like, I don't know, that just blew up. And I don't know how that happened, but we left it on a sour note. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, like looks like he's going to be flipping on us. We need to figure something out. So that was really disappointing because like I would have 100% stayed with them. Yeah. And I'll tell you something like, further, I'll tell you like why I was like, I really am with them, but they just didn't, I guess, believe me.
Is there anything you could have said or done at the time that changed their minds?
I don't know what happened because like, just honestly, like if Jessica didn't come up, I feel like we could have just like left at that on a good note and I could have worked with that. But I don't know. It was so weird. Like Jessica came up and then just the tone changed and then it just falls apart. And I'm like, ugh, like damage control.
Before we get to the first immunity challenge of the day, did you have any interesting or meaningful conversations with any of the original Red players, with Braden, with Jamie, or with William?
Oh yeah. So Braden, he right away he like, when the switch happened, we were saying hi to each other and then Braden, immediately hugged me and he's like, hi, oh my gosh, like I'm such a big fan. Like I've been wanting to work with you. And he was like whispering to me and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, awesome. Like he's willing to, work with us. So like it was him, me and Jess. And he was saying like, yeah, like, I really want to work with you guys. I want to work with the girls. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like that's, he's, giving us a hand and I'll take it. So yeah, so, we were kind of building a relationship at that point. And then, Will, he never really, or sorry, not Will, but Jamie, he wasn't giving me anything. I was like trying to like, but we were kind of connecting on other levels, just, and apparently, actually, maybe this was later. I think this is actually later. And then Kevin, he just, I don't know. He just didn't want to work with me. He didn't want to talk strat. I tried to. He just shut it down. So I was like, looks like I'm not working with him. So, yeah.
So you get to the immunity challenge, and at this point, do you know that? Did you learn that we'll have this advantage? There's a mutiny.
No.
Okay, so this is all a surprise when this happens, then.
It is, yeah, it is.
All right, so you get there, and Will mutinies. So tell me about it.
Yeah, so he mutinied and they were kind of deciding. There was like a moment where they have like a brief moment to like discuss who they're gonna take on to their tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like making eye contact. I was like, oh my God, like it should be me. Like I think I should be the one.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I look back, it should have been somebody else. They should have taken like, I don't know, just somebody else. And then they could have like lost the challenge
Mm-hmm.
and then voted that person out. That would have.
So, because what's interesting about this is we went from a balance, so it's 3 blue, 3 red each tribe, to imbalance, right? You're now in a tribe with 4 blue, 2 red. The other tribe now is 2 blue, 4 red. Should they have tried to keep it balanced or left it imbalanced?
I don't know. I think they just knew that I was in danger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they chose me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm totally fine with that because that was an interesting time over there as well. But I just knew I was in danger, so I was like, yeah, like I'm super fine with like leaving this red tribe and going with you guys. I think they should have like, if they really wanted to, they could have like chosen somebody else. But I don't see them choosing like one of their own. So like I don't know. I don't think it would have,
Well, maybe the best case scenario is they take Brandon, right, and then they throw the challenges. So you keep Blue Strong over there, or like let things resolve over there, and you're safe, even in a minority position on your tribe.
Yeah.
And maybe that also would have like prevented this. Oh, it's the returnee strong. We have to watch over the returnee alliance. If you keep it more of a 4-2 returnee split than a 5-1 or 5-0.
Yeah, and so that's why I was like, maybe they should have like taken Brandon out because like, yeah, like and then like Taylor and Andrew, like they would have been fine with voting Brandon out as well. And I don't think Stevie doesn't really care, and like Austin, I think he would have kind of just went with the votes. Because I don't know how close him and Brandon was, but yeah, that would have worked out.
So you have this challenge. I don't remember what it is. It's balance knack in my notes.
I think it's the one where we each
have. Oh no, I'm the wrong one. Sorry, it's the blind race for knowledge. I'm looking at the total wrong challenge. All right, this is the blindfold challenge, and I think there's like math involved.
Oh yeah, that one we lost that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so confusing. I was like, at one point, like there's like 7 numbers, and you say the numbers to one person. That person, they're blindfolded, and they have to like go. And then they tell the numbers, but they can't communicate. They can't say anything. They have to communicate in a different way to the person that's going to do the math. Austin was doing the math for us. And it was just taking a really long time. It was taking the other team a very long time as well. So at one point I was like, maybe the numbers are like individual. Maybe it's like 4, 7, 7, 3. Like maybe it's like 4 plus 7 plus 7 plus 4 plus 3. Yeah. So I was like, maybe try doing it that way, but I don't think that was correct. But yeah, we lost that one, and I was like, dang it, like, I get switched over and then we lose. So that was disappointed.
So this probably goes into one of the probably craziest travel accounts of the season, I think, right? You've already had 2. The first one was wild, and this one's even wilder.
Yeah.
Talk me through when you get back to camp and figure out the lay of the land, because you kind of have your original alliance here. It's you, Austin, Joanna, and Stevie. And then you also have Taylor and Andrew from the original Quentland tribe.
Yeah, you would think it would be kind of easy, like the 4 of us voting out either Andrew or Taylor, but no.
Taylor has immunity.
Yeah, she has immunity, and so it would be Andrew. So what happened was, I guess the other team, they send over a fake immunity or like an immunity to Andrew, and then they were kind of like saying like, yeah, like they kind of made it a little obvious, but they were kind of like hiding it. So we're like all kind of like, what's going on over there? Like, it looks like Andrew just got something. Oh my God, Andrew just got something. Like, what do we do? Like, what do you think it is? So we all thought it was an immunity. And so we're trying to figure out like who's who between us. And so it was, I guess, ended up being Joanna, being on the chopping block. But I was like, there's no way, like, this has to be like a fake immunity. Like, why can't we just try it out? Like, and then if it doesn't work out, then I guess we'll choose Joanna. And then, yeah, things just got really messed up. And so we're at Tribal. Tribal, it's like, so like a lot of the tribals that I've been to have been live tribals. Like, things are happening at Tribal Council. It's quite exciting, but it's very stressful.
Yes, it is.
So I just remember Andrew and Taylor telling me like, hey, like, Jenny, if you want to work with us, like, you have to prove it to us. Like, you know, I have immunity, he has immunity, we're not going out. So like, you know, like, vote with us and then we'll work with you, Jenny. Like, we want to work with you and all that jazz. And I was like, so what's the name? Well, who are you putting down? They're like, Stevie. And I was like, oh my God. And I start like, I'm just like, and I think, who do they vote for? Joanna, right?
Joanna, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I really don't want to vote out Joanna because I know that she's always going to be with me. And I know Stevie's going to be with me, but like, I wasn't sure as I was with Joanna. Like, I knew for sure Joanna was with me. Yeah. So like, I was just like, oh my gosh. And then in my head, I was thinking, you know what? Stevie's eventually going to get voted out probably. And so if this is the opportunity to do it, I hope it shows like Brandon and Jessica how like that I'm with them. Like, it'll prove to them that I'm really actually with them. And I really was. And it'll show, you know, loyalty to Andrew and Taylor. And I was like, so conflicted though. So in the end, like, I put Stevie's name down, and I think Austin plays the idol for Stevie. And then Joanna goes out, right? Because they voted for Joanna and not Stevie, right?
Yeah. So Taylor, Andrew, and Austin all vote for Joanna. You and Joanna vote for Stevie, which is cancel. And Stevie is the only one who actually pulls through and votes for Andrew.
Oh my gosh. So crazy.
What's going through your mind after this tribal council?
I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, the thing is, like, it definitely did show Andrew and Taylor that I was with them. And it showed... and then Steve and he was like, I get it, Jenny. It's okay. Like, I totally understand. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Stevie. Like, I never want to write your name down. And then I was like really sad that Joanna left. And then I was like, oh my God, Austin, like if we're an actual, like, in alliance and like, you know, final two, like, keep me in the loop or like, you know, say something. Like, all he was saying was like, Jenny, you're fine. You're good. Like, it's not you. And I was like, oh, like, so like, he's really like, I was really having like trust issues with Austin. Like, so like at that point I was like, I'm not sure if I like want to, you know, keep having you, you know, do this to me. Even if you have my back, it's like, you know, how far is that going to go?
Well, because he didn't tell you that he was playing the idol at all, right? You had no indication.
No.
Yeah. And do you think having that idol later in the game would have made a difference?
For me?
Yes.
I suck at playing idols. I don't really know how to like play an idol. Not like super high, you know, player type of quality. I just don't. I'm just like, it's just stressful for me, and like I would love to have an idol just to like play it in like a tricky way,
Hmm.
but I don't know. Idols have not been really good for me, and like this whole time, like I wasn't able to find one either.
Hmm.
I found one last time, and apparently there was one that was underneath the mat, and like
Hmm.
I
At the
sweep
merge.
at the merge, like I sweep the mat all the time, and so like I was like, oh no, I should have found it. That would have saved me.
So I'm curious, like, talk to me about your thoughts on Taylor and Andrew at this point, after this, like when your conversation with them. Were
Oh my
you
gosh, I
trying to
was
form an alliance with them, or?
yeah, I was so mad at them, but at that point they were like, "Jenny, that really showed us that you are like, willing to work with us and that you're loyal, and so like we owe you." Like I was like, "Yeah, like you guys do owe me. Like I showed you, that you can trust me and things like that and that we
Mhm.
can work together. So let's work together." And they were willing to, at that point they were like, yeah, just telling me what was happening and everything that was happening on the other side. So I was like, cool, like more information,
Mhm.
and just more people to work with. So yeah.
Did the five of you come together and say, "Hey, like this five, let's stay strong and go and get to the final five with each other"? Did that
Yeah,
happen?
we definitely did. We were definitely like returnees strong. Like let's stick together with the returnees because obviously we're gonna be a huge target. Come merge.
So after this, you go to the Island of Ages, and
Mhm.
there you meet Jessica. Talk to me
Yeah.
about this visit. This is a pretty pivotal one.
Yeah. So we get that note from Jessica saying that like, hey, like, I think we get that note before that or after?
I don't
No,
know.
I think we got it before. And so
Mm.
we were like all talking about how like we're really nervous for her and we were like, what can we do? Oh no, you know what? It was after. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So go to the Island of Ages and it's the auction thing again. And
Mhm.
Jessica and I were just so happy to see each other. I was so nervous for her because like it was only Brandon and her. And I knew that she was gonna be at the bottom because Brandon 100% was like gonna flip.
Mhm.
Um so super glad to see her and we find out it's the auction thing and she was telling me like, everything that's happening and how she feels she's in danger and at the bottom.
Mhm.
So I kind of like was like, you can have this one, you can win this. And so we were kind of just discussing like which disadvantages she should take.
Mhm.
She should take some public ones
Mhm.
and some private ones and just let the team know that like, yeah, she got something. Yeah, so it was really good to see her and I was like, we're gonna try to I think we kind of discussed like her no, yeah, that was about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then so I go back to my tribe and I tell them everything that she told me and that she was at the bottom. And then I think that's when we decided to tell write a letter to her. And so it wasn't really my plan, but they were like, oh, she can work with Kevin.
Mhm.
She should work with Kevin. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'll just write that in the note. And they were like, yeah, yeah. Tell her to like try to like, work with
Mhm.
Kevin. And I was like, all right. So I write this note. And they also suggested this is like Taylor, Andrew, Austin, Stevie. They're kind of fun. They're like, yeah, also like in the note, like tell her not to tell them that she won
Mhm.
that advantage. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I think she had already told
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So yeah, she gets the note and we're like, okay, that's all we can do to
Mhm.
help her. Yeah.
And so you get to the next challenge, which is the Cannonball Toss, and your tribe wins that challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was good. We were really happy to win that because we know that like she has an advantage.
Mhm.
Um, and the advantage was power with no
Safety without power.
without power.
Ability to leave tribal council, essentially.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we were like, okay, awesome. Like they're gonna have to be scrambling and they're gonna have to figure out like who to take out. And so we were just like, yeah, let's just like be strong. Let's like, keep working together until merge. Yeah.
So did you think she was going to use that advantage then? What was while you were waiting? Okay.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Who did you think was going to be going out from that tribe?
We were all thinking maybe Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were all thinking Brandon or Kevin, because they were saying that Kevin wasn't that close with Jamie and Brayden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, so that night you end up merging. You have a very late merge dinner. You see that Kevin was voted out from that tribe, and you kind of start with a merge at an interesting place. Both swap tribes have 5 players each. But there's 5 of each original tribe, 5 red, 5 blue. There's 5 returning players, 5 new players. It's a lot of like even splits going on with what this merge dynamic looks like.
Yeah.
And
I thought, we could kind of keep working together and stay strong with the returnees. But I definitely would have, brought in Jessica as well. Maybe Brayden, but that was definitely not, you realize after like that first individual immunity, like that's not how it's going to work, because obviously the red tribe had made some really strong connections. And so it was still kind of like blue tribe versus red tribe still.
In a weird way, right? It was kind of like red tribe 2.0 versus blue tribe 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, and just to go back, actually before the battle back, right? And so we forgot to mention this, but Brayden, he
left the game.
Yeah, he left the game, and that was so devastating for us. We were so sad to see him go, and he was really upset, because it would have been amazing to have him come to merge or to the swap, because he's just so good at like causing chaos, and I knew that he was definitely going to stay blue strong. So it was really upsetting that he left. But yeah, all right. And then going back to
fast forward
the merge. Yeah, like nothing is easy in Survivor. Nothing is, how you think it's gonna go. Yeah.
So that first challenge is the balancing challenge, and Stevie wins that challenge. So who did you want to vote off at this first merge tribal council?
Probably one of the red tribe. I was fine with Will going. I was fine with, was Kevin in there?
Kevin's out. So you have from the original red tribe, you have Brayden S, Will, Jamie, let's see, Andrew and Taylor, but you're kind of working with Andrew and Taylor.
Yeah, I am. And then Brayden as well. Like I'm fine with Brayden as well. So I was like fine with either Jamie or Will. I don't remember like who everyone was talking about though.
Well, I think at this point Jamie's really kind of playing up and trying to be a target because he has an idol to play.
Yeah. So yeah, I think at that point I was just kind of like, I have been so not a part of the votes thus far. So like I'm super down to like, just as long as I'm in the majority votes, just like tell me the plan and I'll do it. Like I just don't want to be out of the conversation, which was like most of the time. Yeah, I don't remember at what point was like Taylor really worried. I don't think it was at this point yet. No. Yeah, but yeah. So people were making plans, people were talking, and I was just kind of going with the flow. As long as it wasn't me,
Did you know that Austin was in trouble?
I did hear about some, like, people were saying like, oh, it's like too hard to work with Austin. Like he's like, playing his own game way too much and he's too chaotic and you can't work with him. And I think I was trying to like defend him just because having him go further because, we were working together would have been better for me. So I think I like defended him at some points, but I think I let him know that like his name was being, kind of brought around. So I don't know what he did with that information. I think he caused some chaos. Oh yeah, he said that like Brandon and Jamie knew each other. There was there was like a lot of drama happening, and I was like, where's this drama coming from? And it actually came from Austin. So, that was pretty funny.
How soon into this first merge vote did you like, oh, this really is returnees versus new players?
I think I did hear Jessica mention or somebody mention like that they were worried about all the returnees, and I was like, really? And then I don't know, because I wasn't sure like how like Taylor and Andrew, I wasn't sure like how much they were with us or not.
You don't see yourself taking the 5 returnees to Final 5 at all.
I would have been super down actually. It was the golden age, and I really did want an epic showdown. So I was like super okay with that. I think the only like newbies I would have taken was like Brayden and Jessica.
Did you know that? Do you have any idea that Andrew was going to flip at this first vote?
No idea. I'm always out of the conversation.
So this tribal council doesn't work out very well for you, right?
Yeah.
Your alliance. So 4 of you put your votes on Jamie. Jamie plays an idol, nullifies it. Andrew throws his vote essentially for the majority. He casts a vote for you actually, and then it's 5 votes on Austin, and Austin goes out.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts after the tribal council?
I was really like worried. So we were all really worried. I do remember Austin saying like, hey, like, I think it's going to be me. During tribal, I think, or something. And I was like, what? Like, who's going to flip? And so, so we just knew it was going to be a boys club. And I think that's when, Taylor was getting really, really upset because she's obviously really close with Andrew and she felt really betrayed or something. So drama was starting to form. So it was like Jessica, me, Taylor, Stevie, the 4 of us, and then like the boys. So it was very like cliquey, and we were just like, how are we gonna do this? Who knows? But yeah.
So I imagine you had a lot of talks with Jessica this round trying to get her to flip. And Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was just gonna kind of ask something more, but you were about to say something.
Oh no, what were you gonna say about Jessica?
How hard were you trying to get Jessica to flip at the final 9?
Really hard, and I think she always defended me. But I don't know. I think for her, like, she really was worried about returnees. She was always kind of like, Stevie was on her radar always. And so like, at that point, I was like, okay, looks like, alliances are falling apart for me. So like, I'm super down to just work with anybody that wants to work with me. And it seemed like the really strong alliances were like, I really trusted Jessica and Brayden. They seemed to be vouching for me the whole time. And so I was like, I'm with you guys. So like, whatever you guys do, just like, let me know. And like, I'll vote, like, even if it's like voting for Stevie or Taylor or like anybody, like, I'm with you too.
So this next immediate challenge is Flame War, where you have the candles, you're trying to douse people's candles. How was that challenge for you?
Oh, it was terrible. I think I was the first one out.
What did I ask then?
Yeah, so like basically like I tried to get Jamie's and then mine, and then somebody got mine, and that was it. So I was like, Oh my gosh. Okay. So it was fun to watch. Yeah, but I wish I did better.
Andrew ends up winning.
Hmm.
And oh, one other thing, Will goes to the Island of Ages this round.
Hmm.
And what do you hear about that visit from him?
Oh, nothing.
Okay.
I don't remember any. Yeah, yeah. Will was like this mysterious, like, lurker for me. Like, we never talked.
Hmm.
I only heard things about him from other people because we never talked.
Hmm.
So, like, yeah, he's like this mysterious figure that was playing with me, but playing in the same game, but not really in
Hmm.
the same circle.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So this round, you end up trying to vote Brandon out.
Did I?
Yeah, so this ends up being a 6 vote Stevie, 3 votes Brandon, where you, Taylor, and Stevie all vote Brandon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So how did the strategy happen this round for you?
I think it just seemed to make sense that it was going to be Brandon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, honestly, I don't remember much.
If
I remember trying to like flip Jamie. I think I tried talking to, yeah, I was telling Brayden and Jessica that it should be Brandon. And I thought I might have had the numbers,
Mhm.
but I guess Stevie was too big of a threat. So
Why Brandon? Do you remember why?
it was because like it was after he flipped
Hmm.
so hard
Hmm.
on us when we were on the red tribe, and I still had some animosity towards that.
Hmm.
So I was like, I obviously can't trust this guy, and he's obviously with the dudes, so I'm okay with voting him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, if Brayden or if Jessica came to you and said, "Hey, you need to write Stevie's name down," would you?
Um, yeah, I would have.
Hmm.
Because like I had already written Stevie's name down, and
Hmm.
so I kind of got that kind of off my chest, and I
Hmm.
I definitely could have done it again. And I, especially if it means showing loyalty to some people,
Hmm.
I would have done it. But I would have been really sad about it.
Now, going to the final eight, how much trouble do you feel like you were in?
Oh, tons of trouble. Tons, because obviously Stevie's out, Austin was out.
Hmm.
Like, obviously the returnees were definitely being, targeted, and I know I was always kind of like a big target.
Hmm.
So I knew my game was kind of on Brayden and Jessica's hands. I really trusted them. So
Hmm.
I was like, please, like, whatever you guys can do, like, to like get me out of a tight situation, like, please do it. I'm with you. I will take you guys to final three.
Hmm.
So yeah.
And you probably have heard or know that Taylor felt really tight with Brayden as well.
Yes, yeah. And so I think it was that time when she was really upset. She felt really betrayed. And yeah, so we were working together a lot. She was talking to me a lot.
Hmm.
And like getting to know her more in the game, I was like, it's actually true. You're not as scary or intimidating as people say you are.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it was nice to finally kind of talk strategy with her and play with her.
And so in this round, Taylor has a disadvantage played on her where she can't compete in the next immunity challenge.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
I thought that really sucked because
I was like,
I
I don't know what's flying behind you, but stuff is.
I thought that was really sad because she knew she was like in real danger,
Mhm.
and it was just it was just one hit after the other. Oh my god, sorry. And socks. Um, yeah, so just the fact that she
So,
wasn't able to play, it just really sucked. I felt bad for her.
however, this ends up being a very good immunity challenge for you.
Yeah, I win it, and I actually Brandon actually helped me out for one of them. I think
Hmm.
it was like potassium or something, and I was like, oh my god, I forget. So it was
Hey.
so stupid. I think it was it ended up being Brayden, but we had no idea who hid the table of.
Brandon had the periodic table. He
It
hit
was
it.
Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that little. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't even get to take a look at the periodic table. I didn't even see it. But he did help me with one of them with the potassium, or it was something else. I don't know. It was F. So whichever F is.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I forget.
Potassium is K. I remember lead was there. That was PB. Gold was
Okay.
AU.
Fe. E. Fe.
Iron.
Iron. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, so he helped me with that one. And then yeah, I won, and that felt really, really good. I was like, oh my gosh. I was really excited. I was stoked. And it was so funny just to like be safe and then see everyone kind of scrambling. Like that's actually a great feeling. And yeah, I was able to I stirred the pot a little bit actually.
How'd you stir the pot?
So I think it was who was saying things. So I was telling Jamie that Andrew was saying some things about him. No. Oh my gosh, no, who was it? Brayden. I was telling Brayden that Andrew was telling people that he was okay with voting out Brayden because he saw him as like a challenge threat and things like that. And that's what Andrew said to me. Like, I was like, oh, okay. And so I just relayed it back to Brayden. And then Brayden freaking like, I don't know what happened. Like, he's like, I'm going to confront Andrew. I'm going to confront Andrew about it. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And then so he confronts Andrew about it. And Andrew's like, Brayden, why would you believe her? Like, you know me. And then he like does this like laugh. And it's kind of a telling laugh. Like you can kind of tell when he's lying when he like does this giggle. He's like, ha ha ha, you shouldn't believe her, Brayden. Like he's just saying anything to like, lie to you. And I was like, okay, why would I lie to you? And so like, sassy Jenny was kind of coming out. And everybody watching the drama kind of unfold, I think everyone was saying like, wow, Jenny's actually kind of scary. And that's what I want. That's like, I want more of that. So in the future, hopefully you'll see that more. But yeah, it was just like so frustrating because like, that's what Andrew told me. That's what he said. And then he was like, she's lying. So I was just like, so I guess that's like how I was stirring the pot, and I was like really giving it to Andrew, like who do you think you are to like say that I'm lying because I know I'm not. That's what you told me and blah blah. And I was able to like be that way because I was safe. So that was really fun.
So this round, you probably have a good idea that Taylor's going to be one getting votes this round.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who, maybe it was Will or Jamie because at this point, you, Jessica, and Taylor are all on the same page.
Yeah.
And are all finally working with each other. How was that?
It was nice. It was like we were like finally like girls like sticking together. Let's work with each other and let's get these boys out. And we didn't have enough power. Like, yeah, it was very, very unfortunate. And yeah, Taylor was, having a lot of moments. Actually, we were actually able to get, I think, Brandon on our side because Jessica and I was like giving him some crazy heat for his mess up with the last vote. Because if he went with us, one of the red tribe would have went.
Are you talking about the final 9 or final 8? Because I remember I know at the final 8 he was supposed to vote with you, but he doesn't.
Oh, okay. Right? Yeah, right. That's the one. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so that's later. But yeah. I think we were trying to get him on board. Yeah, he was the only one that we could think of to get on board.
What about Brayden?
I think I don't know. Brayden was like, Taylor definitely tried to talk to him. I was talking to him, and I think we thought that he was gonna go with us. But like I just knew that like Brayden was like not really with us, but I trusted him. But I trusted him to keep me safe. So like if it was gonna be me or like Jessica or Taylor, I think I would have preferred keeping Jessica because I played with her longer. But like yeah, so I trusted him in a different way, but I don't know about that one. Yeah, but I just remember they were having a lot of drama, like Taylor and Brayden.
At Tribal Council, you're sitting really close to Brayden.
Mm-hmm.
This ends up being a very emotional vote for Brayden, and I think you and Jamie are right there with him, whispering to him, trying to reassure him, but also maybe convince him to come your way.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah, so like Jamie was there and I was like, Brayden, like, like just do what you feel is right, but like, the girls are with you and all of that. And then Jamie's like, she's lying. No, we're with you. We've been together since day one. You need to work with us and like, but like, don't get too beat up. Don't beat yourself up too much about it. We were both kind of just like doing that. And I guess, yeah, in the end, Brayden, chose to, go with the other guys.
So Taylor ends up going home in a 5-3 vote, right? Jess flips, and you and Taylor vote for Andrew, because I guess at this point you've just written Andrew off. But Taylor goes home. This is almost the end of day 5. The only other thing about day 5 I want to talk about is you have an Island of Ages visit with Brayden. This is where
right.
You can the challenge for BC Bucks.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I did this. Like, I actually can't believe I did this. But like, for some reason, I thought we would, go get one of the challenge like advantages. So you can buy an advantage to the next challenge. So he was like, Jenny, like, I think I need this. I need this one. Can you please like give it to me? And I was like, okay. I didn't think about it too much. I don't know why, because like I trusted him so much. I was like, you know what? Like, he's been like advocating for me this entire time. So maybe I guess I can like, return the favor by giving you this advantage. And yeah, he talked me into it. I give him the advantage, and the advantage, I honestly, if I had it, I probably would have won that challenge. So like,
Brayden also said if you had that advantage, you would have won that challenge. He was not going to beat you without that advantage.
Oh my gosh. I would have won that one.
This could have been the start of a 6-win streak from you.
I know. I have it in me, I think. So I'm never doing that ever again. That was so stupid.
Well, before we get to that challenge, which ends up being a fun endurance challenge, at the end of day 5, your returning alliance is kind of gone. It's just you. Andrew's on the other side. You kind of have Jess on your side.
There were many times where she didn't vote with me, so like I was like very unsure.
So what was your plan going into that night and the next day? Like, what were you trying to do, or how did you think you were going to get to the end at this point?
Oh, so basically, I just had to get Brayden, Jessica. I thought maybe I could work with Will finally, because Jessica was saying that she was kind of creating a relationship with Will. And so she was like, yeah, I can be like, oh, that was a bit later actually. It was Brayden, Jessica, me, Andrew, and then we
Stargazer.
Stargazers, yeah. So we like went out onto the tarp and watched the stars, and we were like, yeah, this is it. We can go to Final Four with this, and it would be epic. Yeah, and then so we would just have to pull Will, and then we could take out Jamie. And so I was really working it. I was like really trying to confirm with them, like, just please, like, just keep me like one more day, guys. Like, you can use me as numbers. Like, I will 100% like work with you any which way So you can trust me, you can use me, whatever, just like keep me in the game. Yeah. And I think I like did kind of get them to like think about it, legitimately think about it, because Jamie was like legitimately upset, and he did seem like he thought he was going home.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I think maybe I got to them, but obviously not.
Well, the vote almost is a close vote the next day, right? This ends up
Mhm.
being at first a 4-3 vote, right? Brandon and Jessica vote with you.
Mhm.
But Will gets that steal vote. He steals your vote and he ends up casting an extra vote for you. So you end up getting 5 votes to 2.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, what could I have done? But yeah, yeah, I did my best, and it's funny. Taylor did like mention like in this like Jamie did a TikTok, and like we were throwing things to each other, like to the person that talked the most but was never a part of the votes, and that was like me. Yeah, like I talked my way through so much,
Mm-hmm.
way more than season 7, so I was very proud. Yeah, but I keep getting 7th.
You're consistent, if not anything else.
Exactly. I am very consistent, and yeah, I'll make it to merge.
So your game's not quite over at this point because you are on the jury. And
Yeah.
so getting the jury, who are you rooting for?
So when I was out, it was really funny because like that morning, I just knew in my gut that it was gonna be me. So like the tears were already coming, and I was like, you guys, I can't trust you. I was being such a baby about it. Yeah, so I got voted out, and then I remember just like not looking at them, and kind of wishing that Jamie or Will would win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I remember like, going to jury with the next one. Like I flipped them off or something. I gave them a nice finger, walking in. But I think I was still rooting for. So at that point, I thought Jessica like was, she knew the plan and didn't tell me, and like voted for me. Or I don't know, something. I was upset at her, so I didn't want her to win.
Mm-hmm.
But she would have been my choice. I think I was voting. I was like wanting probably Brayden to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any thoughts as you watch people come to the jury? You have Brandon, then Andrew, then Jessica. Any thoughts as you're watching the season unfold?
Um. Not really. Like not too much. I was like pretty bitter for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Allowed.
salty jury, and I I was sad when Jessica went out, because when she came to the Ponderosa, we were kind of like, we were just like, we weren't, I don't know, I didn't talk to her very much when I should have like ran up and hugged her, and
Mm-hmm.
um but I was just like, because I didn't have the full picture. And then yeah, as things were unfolding, I I didn't think it would be Brayden, Jamie, and Will in the end,
Mm-hmm.
but good for them, right?
Mm-hmm. Um, at the end, it ends up being Brayden versus Will. And talk me through your thought process when it came to casting your jury vote and the differentiating the two of them.
Yeah. So honestly, I was always gonna vote for Brayden.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to hear out Will's
Mm-hmm.
thing, and he had a really great story and everything, but honestly, he didn't even give me the time of day to like work together.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no relationship with him. At least Brayden, like my reasoning is Brayden, worked with me,
Mm-hmm.
built a relationship with me, so that was my vote, and I advocated for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, Braden ends up winning 5-2, and he sets a record for most individual immunity wins. But you will always be known as a person who beat him in a challenge. One of the few people who were able to do that this season.
Oh, I could definitely like beat him some more, but next time.
um, so I want to kind of talk about the journey of the season. I feel like every time you play Survivor, you kind of learn a little bit more about yourself, take something away. What did you kind of take away from this season?
Yeah. So what I took away was
Oh no. Takeaway was a black screen. We get to the most critical question of the podcast, and then there's an internet connection error. Oh no. Send our message over Facebook. So, for all of you who are listening right now, welcome to the Stephen Monologues part of this podcast. Survivor BC has some other stuff coming for it, so keep your eyes peeled. I'm planning to do a podcast with Kevin, the 11th place finisher of this season, next week. That's it for people who have contacted me about doing a podcast. I'll probably reach out to some other players that I want to talk to and hear from and hear their thoughts as the season unfolds. But I'm pretty happy having gone the final four and Jenny at this point. But so we'll see how many more players I can get to get to come with me. All right, so Jenny's computer just shut down. No, you can. She might join on her phone. Beyond that, this is a season 8 Survivor BC podcast, but season 6 is premiering late October. Season 6 is Rockring Valley. This was filmed in 2019. I competed in the season. Spoiler, I am a how to not play Survivor guide, which will be exciting. But I'm looking forward to that season coming out. Again, it'll be on YouTube late October. Matt Raymer, a player from season 7, and Jira are working to get the season out, and I think it'll be fun. The season also features Taylor St. Louis, who played on season 8. And so if you want to see her pull off some good moves and be a great player, it's a perfect season to watch her in. All right, so Jenny should be rejoining shortly. I don't know what else. What else can I fill the airtime with? You all don't want me to talk about accounting research. This is a Survivor podcast, after all. I'm excited for next year and what Survivor BC will hold. I'm hoping the borders will be open again. There's been a lot of U.S. players who've been wanting to come out and play Survivor in Canada again, maybe me included, who have found the borders issues to stop us. Now I know the borders reopened in August, so here's the hope for next summer. All right, so let's bring Jenny back in. Jenny, you're here.
Hi. Sorry about that. My laptop just like shut down.
Well, the people who listen to will have to endure me chat for a couple of minutes, so I'm glad you're here to save them from that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, when I was asking you, like, what was your takeaway from this season? What have you learned about yourself?
So with season 7, I always thought like that maybe I'm not very much like a strategic player. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's not in me, or something like that. But like it looks like I am, and it looks like I can be, you know, that fiery Jenny that I've always wanted to be. Yeah. So I, took away that like, I do have that power, or that like I have that in me and I can play this game the way that I think that I can, and I can do it even better when I get another chance. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I took away from that. And like obviously like I can't be as trusting of people, and like and now like for me like I'm thinking like how do I play a more fluid game? How do I position myself in good spots, because Jessica did that really well for herself. Yeah, like now I'm thinking like how can I play better, and then how can I get to the merge and play the individual immunity challenges because I know I can do really well.
You're here to be a challenge beast in future seasons.
I know, just like I gotta get there. Let me get there, and I'll just win.
So you've played 3 seasons now: season 2, season 7, season 8. Which season have you had the most fun in?
I think it was this season for sure. Out of all the seasons, I had the most fun because like day one, like, we were really playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was challenging. It was also very equal. Like they won some, we won some. It was really nice, like when things are like that. I was able to play with like different people, and way more fun this time.
Well, do you want to hear some fun statistics about your Survivor BC career?
Yes.
So how many days have you played Survivor BC?
I think I think season 2 was only like 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 7 was that a week as well?
Mm-hmm.
And then this one was a week.
So you played Survivor BC for 14 days, which makes you have the most days played of any returning player so far.
Oh, wow.
You beat out Tyler Kakuno.
Oh, nice.
Do you know how many votes you've received over the course of your career?
Well, it must be, a few at least.
So you've received 15 votes, which unfortunately is not the highest. You're beat by 3-time players Tyler and Austin at this point, but you have one more than Taylor. And then finally, how many tribal wins do you think you've had at this point? Not individual, but tribal wins.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking like maybe 10?
You're at 14.
Wow.
Because there's a lot of reward challenges in season 7, and so you have the most tribal wins of any player. Second place is Andrew, who was on your tribe last season.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So those are some things for you to be happy about.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Steven.
Now, I would like to round this out by kind of throwing some rapid fire questions at you, just like quick takes of the season.
Sure.
So for you, what was your favorite challenge?
Oh, of this season?
Yeah.
I think it was the eating one. Even though it was really bad, I mean, we won that and it was fun.
What was a low moment for you in this season?
Stevie leaving.
Mm-hmm. And then what was your highest moment?
Winning immunity challenge.
Okay. Were there any fun? What's a fun moment from tribe life that you like to think back on, or favorite moment from tribe life?
Tribe life. I think it was just working together to make the camp look really pretty and nice.
Who surprised you the most out there?
Jessica.
How come?
Because she was very like shy and stuff at the beginning, and she was always saying like how she's just sort of nervous sometimes when meeting new people and things like that. And I just knew that she was a very strategic player. I didn't know that she played orgs and won orgs. So I didn't know that about her until like way later, until like even after. So I was like, she's doing really good. But it turns out she plays orgs.
Who do you wish you worked with but you didn't?
Who do I wish I worked with and I didn't? I think David.
Really?
Yeah, David's so funny. He's really good at like egging people on and things like that. So it would have been, and then like knowing that him and Andrew had a relationship, it would have been cool to have him, and then maybe we would have had a better chance of bringing Andrew on to our, line, our side.
If you could take a time machine and go back in time and tell yourself any one thing before you played this season, what would you tell yourself?
Don't push Brandon's name.
So it all comes down to that first vote for you then, right? It
does, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think one last question. Would you play another live reality game? Would you play Survivor BC again?
Oh, 100%. Because I don't know how many more they're going to make. So I'm super down. I love like the survival aspect of it. I really want to go to a place where you can actually like forage, like more places with like more berries and maybe some mushrooms, and then like, yeah, that'd be really cool. And like I just love how my mind changes, and you just become more strategic, and I don't know, I just love that aspect, and like you just learn so much about yourself and like what you can do. You push your limits, you push your body, and yeah, I think it's an amazing game. And like I was telling, you know, in one of my confessionals, I think I was just saying more women should definitely play this game because it help the women that already play. So like more women playing would just be awesome. But honestly, like, yeah, it's just an amazing game.
Well, Jenny, I think that's all the questions for me. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, if I do get, you know, invited or whatever to play another one, I would. And hopefully, I'm really hoping that, like I have a better team to play with. Like, I don't know. Just seems like loyalty does, like, get you far. So hopefully find, like, a loyal, strong team. And then I can kind of just be, you know, the trickster Jenny and the kind of the sassy Jenny that I've always wanted to kind of. And you know what? I think I will, because if I'm always going to be on people's like targets, like if I'm going to be a target like always, then I'm just going to like go for it, you know?
Carpe diem. Gotta seize the day.
Yeah.
Well, Jenny, thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm really happy that I got to talk to you and hear your thoughts and everything. Thank you, everyone who tuned in and listened. There will be more interview podcasts coming in the near future, so keep your eyes open for those. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.